What's up, everyone? It is Lo, Beauty Demon, and we are back to talk about internet BS. We are going to talk about a lawsuit that I am surprised no one is talking about. It kind of seems like it's a big deal. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post. And don't send anybody that we talk about in this video any hate, negativity, nothing like that. These are just my thoughts and opinions based on what I'm seeing play out on the internet. So if you have something to say about what we are talking about, just shoot it down in the comments below. That's what they are there for. Before we really hop in, I also wanted to share with you this new handy dandy notebook that I got. Also got this at Ollie's. You know me, I love some Ollie's notebooks. And this one tops everything. It is a pink Power Ranger journal. Now it feels like leather, but I don't really know if it is or not. It was only $3.99. I bought 3 of them, and it has the Power Ranger Morphin Time thing on the front, and on the back you got your cute little lightning bolt, and then on the inside there's actually illustrations. This is the original pink Power Ranger. It is Kimberly on the inside, or like an artist rendering of Kimberly anyway. And then right here you also have the helmet being held, and then on the back, or in the back rather, it does have the same picture that it did in the front. There is a little folder for you to put like stickers or receipts, and then on the inside of that there's actually a different picture of her standing on top of her sword. I guess that's how you fly those? I don't know. They only took those out for the big baddie, so it was generally at the end of an episode. Anyway, on from that, let's talk about what today's actual topic is about, and that is about a channel called DissociaDID. So let me give you a brief, hopefully all-encompassing synopsis of who DissociaDID is, what their channel is about, some big things they've gone through, and what this whole lawsuit I mentioned at the beginning is about. DissociaDID is a channel where the creator experiences what is called dissociative identity disorder. This is previously known as multiple personality disorder. Now, this is a personality disorder that is developed very early in life. Generally, it is a coping mechanism that is from experiencing serious trauma as a child when you are actually forming your personality. So to cope, different personalities like split off to have different roles within the system of protecting, you know, holding secrets, stuff like that. And this creator had a couple like main personalities that would come to the forefront that would really interact with and engage with their channel. But the main, I would say, like host person, which is like their legal name, was Chloe for a very long time. Now there was Chloe, and then there was another very forward-coming personality named Kyle. Since a lot of this stuff has taken place that we talk about today, they have merged into one personality named Kaya. So that is who I'll be referencing. For the majority of this, I will probably just call them DissociaDID, just because it just feels more natural. They started their channel in 2018 as a way to like educate people about DID and to help people who do experience DID. Videos could be things like coping mechanisms, ways to ground yourself, you know, if you are experiencing a dissociative episode, and would also include videos with switching on camera or meet the alters, where they would actually have alters come forward that maybe don't come forward often and kind of explain like what their role is, how they see themselves. You would see their differences in personalities, how they carried themselves, and things like that. And like I've previously stated, some of the alters do evolve over time, either fusing together like Chloe and Kyle did, or in some cases, if you experience something more traumatic, maybe personalities do split apart. So over the time, the channel creator evolves. Now, there have been claims that DissociaDID does not have DID. And in fact, even in the mental health, you know, practice world, there are a lot of people that don't think DID is actually a real thing. Now, I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not going to say if it's real one way or the other, but a lot of people do say that DissociaDID has not actually been formally diagnosed, therefore cannot really be putting out that they have DID, and a lot of people think that they're faking. So it all stems from the fact that Chloe, who was the host, was a psychology student and had actually wrote a paper that was published about self-diagnosing with dissociative identity disorder, and then later claimed to have been diagnosed by a facility where they are not actually able to diagnose you with DID. They still have to recommend you out to a psychologist who can do that, because they do not have psychologists, at least not a psychologist in-house, that can diagnose that. So these are two places that are not like, you know, yourself and then somebody else is super reputable being diagnosed with DID, and that is where people say, well, they're just faking it. And I'm not going to break it like all down, because I feel like there are more like examples that people bring. I just want to put that out there that some people do not think this is real, but also in the mental health community, some people just don't think DID is real either. All that aside, DissociaDID does actually have a very large and loyal community. They also had a partner that they were dating for a while, and this was another creator who went by the name Team Pinata. This person also has DID, so I'm not really sure like what the dynamics of the relationship is, because both have different personalities. So are different personalities dating each other? What if one personality hates this person and just hates like every personality this person has? So I really don't know how all of this works. So just within the past like 2 years, DissociaDID did have a run-in with Trisha Paytas, but like who hasn't? And it's been a long time since I've talked about Trisha Paytas on my channel. I just don't take anything Trisha Paytas says seriously. I can't listen to her talk anymore, so that's why I've kind of just stopped on that. So it's kind of like weirdly nostalgic to just even, I don't know, mention her name. Well, Trisha made a video saying that they had DID, and in this video they also called DissociaDID crazy, which I guess this also made a split happen with one of DissociaDID's personalities because of the hate that they were garnering from Trisha Paytas fans. So that started happening, and then their partner Team Pinata was outed for having a sneezing fetish. Now, that's fine. Okay, cool. The problem was that Team Pinata would do illustrations. They would say it's really cool that they can draw their own porn. And some of these illustrations, yes, some of these people were adults, but some of them also depicted characters from cartoons and things like that that were minors. They said some of these people were aged up, but some were not. It all depicted them sneezing. Now, from the outside person, you would be like, well, what's sneezing? Now, I saw like 1 or 2 pictures that I was like, holy. The problem is when you have said that you have a sexual desire towards a specific action, it's not okay for you to look at minors doing that or depict them in a drawing. At least I don't think. And a lot of people agreed with me, and a lot of people were very upset. There was a huge amount of backlash to Team Pinata for good reason, in my opinion. And then onto DissociaDID, because this is their partner. How can they not know what's going on, or do they condone this, or what is this? It resulted in both of them leaving YouTube. It seemed like Team Pinata permanently. DissociaDID did leave videos up, but was not really posting any new content. And then in March of 2021, so like a year ago, DissociaDID removed some videos and posted on their community tab that this was due to them being copyright claimed. As we get into this, I am apprehensive about saying the name or alluding to anything about the person who is involved in the lawsuit with DissociaDID, so I will refer to them as a fan, and I will talk more about why I am apprehensive about this in the first place. This fan, said that they had some sort of right to the videos on DissociaDID's channel. People were not really sure what this right was. Some people were leaning into the conspiracy of DissociaDID is a liar and doesn't have DID, and that this person was their writer or their producer, or like the real brains behind the channel, or they were, you know, somehow like heavily involved in some way with the channel. This person was known to be a fan, which is why I call them a fan, and they were known on the Patreon as well, of being a really big fan and alluding that they were very close to DissociaDID. So then on December 19th of 2021, DissociaDID posted a video called Our Videos, What Happened to DissociaDID? And in this, Kaya, who is the newly merged version of Chloe and Kyle together and is the main fronting host for the system, gave their side of how they know this person and how this person has tried and attempted to claim their videos and how they were able to do this. So the fan saw the same Anthony Padilla interview with DissociaDID that I saw that made me initially like look into this person. They binged all of their videos and they subscribed to DissociaDID's Patreon. In April of 2020, they actually reached out to DissociaDID and offered to help them with their content and with helping them manage their channel and, you know, manage like comments, but specifically said, you don't have to pay me or like credit me or anything. And initially the system declined. This fan was persistent and did not take no for an answer and continued to offer their services free of charge with no credit until DissociaDID finally relented and agreed. Now that is a huge red flag right there. You tell a person no Even once and they don't take a hint, that's a red flag. Multiple times, that's a whole field of red flags to me, because that means that person does not respect your boundaries. If they really respected you and respected your boundaries, they would take that no the first time and leave you alone or give you some space. By November of 2020, the advances from this fan to DissociaDID were making them uncomfortable. They were starting to make more romantically inclined advances, say they wanted more out of their relationship, out of their friendship. They wanted to be, I don't want to say like physically intimate, but they just felt really dismissed by DissociaDID, which, like, come on, they're not like your friend. And DissociaDID repeatedly told this person no to their advances over and over again, saying, I don't know what you're looking for here, but like, I am not comfortable with what this is, and you need to respect my boundaries, and this person did not. So DissociaDID attempted to end this relationship, something they thought was going to start off as professional and became a little red flaggy all around, thank you. In my personal opinion, allegedly, Kaya said they wouldn't take no for an answer, and they also would not give full control back of some of the aspects of the channel that Kaya had given to this person. That is a big, huge red flag. You've never met this person and you actually gave them passwords to things. That's a huge red flag to me on DissociaDID's part. You did not know this person, you never met this person in real life, and you gave them like your passwords to things. Like, apparently they got the password to the account email and were emailing friends and family harassing messages and wouldn't let Kaya have access back to it. Is that the email that like all of your stuff is backed up to? That's crazy. This fan then doxed DissociaDID and copyright claimed all of the videos. So what was it that the fan was able to claim, though? Because it was not the content. Nothing in the video was written by this person. DissociaDID created all of that. Well, it was in fact a disclaimer that this person wrote. This fan wrote a disclaimer, maybe like a line or two of like one or two videos. Those videos have not been re-uploaded, but they also went back to videos that they had nothing to do with. They were not involved with in any way. They were not even like a fan of DissociaDID at this point, and they put that disclaimer in all of those videos as well. So then when it came time to copyright strike or claim, whatever, it all ended up being the same thing. They were able to do that throughout the videos because another red flag, they inserted themselves into pockets of DissociaDID's professional life where they were not involved, they were not present for it at all. In my opinion, allegedly did that as a way to be able to control the content in the channel being put out. So Kaya gives a timeline in their video of the takedowns and the strikes. It all resulted in 8 copyright strikes with a total of 82 videos being removed. This person also went legal with YouTube already, so YouTube let the channel stay. Normally they would remove it, but because a legal process had already been started, they just froze everything. This fan served DissociaDID with a legal claim of copyright. DissociaDID filed a counterclaim and a separate harassment claim. You know, I always think a legal paper trail is always good in these kinds of situations. And a court did award her, Chloe specifically, essentially what seems to be like the British version of like a protective order. Yeah, because that's the other thing. DissociaDID lives in the UK. This fan, or this former fan, lives in a different Western European country. And then I live in America, so I don't even understand American laws like all that great, like a little bit here and there, but like I can't imagine things are too crazy different over there. So I digress. So this is international law. So when this like protective order of sorts was filed, the former fan scoffed about it publicly, saying, well, I live in a different country. How am I supposed to harass you? I mean, I feel like I watched a true crime video not too long ago that was like very similar to this. And I do not blame Kaya at all for taking this sort of step to make themselves feel at least a little bit safe. Over the months of March and May 2021, videos began to be restored because DissociaDID went in and edited, took out the description, the disclaimer, and all of that. This fan then threatened legal action against YouTube because they already had legal action happening with the videos that were being uploaded, so YouTube did remove those. And this is all based off of the timeline that Kaya gives in their video, so I'm just basing it off of that. But it appears that this fan just like bombards DissociaDID and YouTube with legal threats, claims, and strikes in an attempt to, I don't know, get back at them for turning them down for not reciprocating they themselves felt. It's alarming, actually. Like, this is like the kind of toxic parasocial relationship that I kind of like am afraid of, and tell people, like, you guys need to be careful with some of the stuff you're posting on the internet, because there are people who do scary things like this allegedly out there in the world. And it is alarming to me that this person was somebody who would also leaving comments on the channel or interacting with people on the Patreon. This person wanted to be a bridge of communication between DissociaDID and their fans and community. So it's almost like they would have been able to be a filter between that and kind of control like what kind of communication happens. I hope I'm explaining this right to you. That is also somewhat alarming to me, allegedly. Well, it's not allegedly alarming to me, but if what Kaya says is true, allegedly. To me, based on what Kaya information she's put out, it seems like they were trying to isolate them from talking to people. And since that video was released in December, Kaya has actually uploaded most of the videos. They've been re-uploaded. At the time, a couple of creators were covering this. One creator that I really enjoy, Evangelina Skov, did a couple videos about this because they've covered DissociaDID a lot. And then another creator was a channel that I wasn't actually really familiar with, which is called Mental Health Master. It seems like they do more live stream sort of situations. Both of these creators discuss this lawsuit. They discuss what I believe is publicly available information, including this former fan's name because they use it as social media handles, going over the lawsuit documents that have been filed. Now, like I said, this is international law. I can't imagine it's too different over there because here in America, we do have the Freedom of Information Act where pretty much all lawsuits and any kind of legal proceedings are available to the public to be read. You might have to pay a small fee, but it's still available and not illegal to share that. So I can't imagine it's different over in Europe, but what do I know? Regardless, these two creators did videos where they did say the person's name and released what I believe is public information and received privacy strikes. Now, Evangelina Skov immediately just deleted their videos because they were afraid, they were fearful of, should I be sharing this? What's going on? And then re-uploaded it, edited without this person's name. Mental Health Master still has a video or two maybe that has this person's name in it. I didn't watch these videos because, like I said, they're live streams, so they're like super long. I don't know how they handled it though, if like they filed a counterclaim and it got dropped or like what. To me, allegedly, it looks like this former fan is trying to silence anybody that's talking about this and wants to bring attention to this and try and control the entire narrative. This is why I have not said this fan's name, because they've gone after other creators who've literally said their usernames, what country they're from. I want to avoid all of that. Kaya did recently upload an update stating that they are going to court, but they are doing this out legal representation. Sounds incredibly stressful and daunting, which means they are learning all different kinds of copyright law and probably different kinds of international law, and because YouTube is an American company, you got to throw that in there too. They are doing this out legal representation because this former fan cut off a huge chunk of their income for a very long time, and they just can't afford it now. However, Kaya does seem very confident because they, quote, they know their truth. The unfortunate thing is you can know your truth all day long, but if you file something wrong, that can be a huge detriment to your case. That can make or break it sometimes. In those instances, the truth doesn't matter. Myself, personally, I think this actually has the potential to be a very large case for YouTube. This could set serious precedent for copyright laws and YouTube TOS and things like that. And this former fan, allegedly is trying to silence people who are bringing awareness to it. Seems like they might have ulterior motives to me. And this is all, just like I said, based on my opinion of what I see play out on the internet. Anyway, you guys, that is it for today's video. If you have not already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Laters. Bye.